Hey you, I'm Mike Hoff, and we're painting another mural today, and this one's really exciting. I'm pretty pumped about it. I'm in Westport, Missouri, Kansas City, KC Westport, and it's this big juicy wall behind me, and it is a cannabis dispensary called the Forest Dispensary right here in Westport, and we're painting them up a little something special. You know me, I like trees, and they do too, and so they want me to paint one of my trees, and it's gonna be a cool little guy. It's gonna be a goober. So we're out here today just gonna get the doodle on, get the sketch up, protect the windows, put some tape around, all that stuff. And yeah, not too exciting, but we're getting started. I did a handful of designs for these people, and we finally decided on one that I think is pretty cool. You'll see. Let's get down to it. And we're starting out by doing a doodle grid. And this is just a method of transferring my sketch onto the wall by randomly drawing all these little scribbly doodles. They have no meaning to them. I just draw them on there and then superimpose the picture of the wall with the doodles onto my sketch image. And that kind of is just a map of connecting the dots and how I can transfer the image without having to get down and look at it or do any measurements, any actual gridding. And now you see me filling in all of the blocking out shapes, just like the base colors, with latex, exterior latex paint by Sherwin Williams. And I'm mostly using my Grayco ultra cordless, airless handheld paint sprayer, which is great for medium-sized projects like this. I'll have a link to that in the description. And then I eventually switched to a pole and roller to do all of the high points. Did a lot of the canopy with this same 4-inch roller, and that's just because you can't really tell, but this ground is pretty sloped, and every time I had to move my ladder, I had to re-level it, and it was just getting like really annoying to have to keep moving my ladder, and it was also just sketchy. I didn't feel super safe. So I switched to the roller method, and luckily I have this 16-foot pole, 16-foot or 12-foot pole that I was using to do the canopy. And it worked out pretty nicely. Now we are moving on to the trunk of the tree, doing the bark texture. This is the fun part. It's just kind of plug and chug. It's not really an exact science. It's more of a method of making strokes and going layer by layer, just kind of building up the details as you go. So at this point, we are getting really close to completion. This is about 4 days worth of progress. And now we're just continuing to layer up the value structure, going from dark to light. These are my second from the lightest highlight, and this is when it really starts to pop off the wall, getting a 3D look. And again, it's more about the process. It's not trying to make exact shapes. It's just a method of making strokes that you kind of just plug in and go. It's kind of intuitive. Here you see me shaping out the eye details. This is one of the most important part of a lot of my character murals, and it's how I get the character that I'm painting to appear as if it's looking at you, making eye contact with you. I think this is a really good kind of cheat code of engaging the viewer and making you feel like you're interacting with my murals. It's classic Eichhoff. And now we're doing some highlights in the grass texture. If you noticed, I painted this mural basically from back to front and from top to bottom. This ensures that I'm able to cover up any drips or messes that I make throughout the process. Well, it's 6 a.m. here in Westport, and I'm just about done with this mural. The only things left to do is to paint the mushrooms and to get the text on the wall, the logo, the Forest Dispensary text, which is what I'm doing right now and why I'm here at 6 a.m. before the sun is up. That's not the sun, that's a light on the wall. And that's because I want to project text onto the wall. Text is my least favorite thing to do. They're just straight lines, and they got to be really straight, and people know exactly what they're supposed to look like. A tree is a tree. You know what I'm saying? Like, they know that's a tree. Doesn't have to be the exact shapes. They know that's an eyeball and a mouth. Text got to be more precise. So it's my least favorite thing to do, but we're gonna do it, and the projector makes that a lot easier because I just gotta basically trace the lines, connect the dots. There's no math involved. It's pretty straightforward. You see my breath? It's cold as fuck. It's like 33 degrees outside. So I'm gonna sketch this on the wall. I'm gonna go to a coffee shop, warm up with some coffee, then I'm gonna come back and finish this bad boy when it's closer to 40 degrees. Okay, here we go. For these letters, I'm using an acrylic paint marker by MOLOTOW. I'll leave a link in the description. I've also used Posca pens before, but I think the MOLOTOW just has a little bit better coverage, so that's what I prefer, and I've seen other artists say that MOLOTOW is the best. One of my few vices in the world is coffee. Gosh, I love it. Here I am at Broadway Cafe in Westport, reading a book about estimating rehab costs for renovating your home. We just bought a duplex. It's really exciting. Anyway, here's the final shots. I hope you enjoyed this process video. Please consider subscribing. Leave me a comment. If you got questions for me, ask them in the comment section. Subscribe, click the bell icon, stay tuned, and we'll see you next time. Thank you. Bye-bye.